Think about this. Someone is blessed to have a nice, beautiful home. Every single month, the mortgage gets paid. The lights are on. The water is running. The fridge is full of food. But instead of enjoying that blessing, they spend every day panicking that one day they might lose it. Even while they're safe inside their home, surrounded by peace, their mind is living in fear. What if I get behind on my bills? What if I end up losing everything that I worked so hard to get? It's called worrying and overthinking. And that's what we're unpacking today.
What is something that can help with overthinking? Trusting yourself. Overthinking is a lack of trust. Choose something. Choose what you're going to do in those scenarios. Choose and do it. And then it's like, what if it's wrong? Now you're back into the loop of overthinking. The only way you get yourself out of that thought loop is to choose something and to trust what you choose. You'll get into the habit of pausing and choosing. Pause and choose.
Welcome back to Voice and Value. And if you're new here, get comfy and settle on in, because today we're going to jump right into the topic of worrying and overthinking. If you ever find yourself worrying constantly, even when there's no real evidence that things will fall apart, or if you feel like you might overthink everything, replaying conversations, second guessing your choices, or just stressing over what ifs, and they may never even happen. If so, you're not alone. Worrying and overthinking are like twins that work together to rob you of your peace. One keeps you focused on fear, and the other convinces you that you can't trust yourself to handle life. So today we're discussing what worrying and overthinking really do to us, why they show up in our thoughts, and how to break free so you can actually enjoy the life that you've chosen for yourself. Worry is basically living in the future, before it even happens. It's your mind saying, something could go wrong, so let me suffer about it right now just in case. Yeah, I know that sounds kind of silly when you say it out loud, but that's really what you're saying when you worry about something unprovoked. And believe it or not, sometimes worrying makes us feel like we're being irresponsible. We think if we worry, we're somehow preparing. But in reality, worry doesn't prevent tomorrow's problems. No, not at all. It just steals today's peace. Now let's say, for example, that you've paid your bills every single month, but instead of resting in that, you spend every night wondering if one day you won't be able to pay it and you'll lose it all. That's worry at work, putting in overtime. It takes away your ability to enjoy what's already good. Not what could be good in the future, but what's already good today. Now let's talk about overthinking. Overthinking is when your mind runs in circles, analyzing every little detail until you just can't make a decision or feel confident in yourself. You replay conversations. You second guess your choices, and you go through every possible what if in the world until you're exhausted. It feels like problem solving, but it's actually more like mental self-sabotage. And there's a dangerous part of this, and that's that overthinking leads to not trusting yourself. You question your own judgment. You do it so much so that you stop believing that you're even capable. And that lack of trust right there will feed into the worrying. Now you're not only scared of what might happen, you're scared you won't be able to handle it either. If you don't run over here and get this hug right now, because now you are caught up in a cycle. Worry makes you anxious about the future. Overthinking convinces you that you're not equipped, and together they keep you stuck. They keep you stuck in the space that has no value and no real purpose in your life. Now let's break down what's usually hiding underneath this cycle of worrying and overthinking. Well, first and foremost is the anxiety that almost always leads to chronic worrying. You find yourself always bracing for something bad to happen, even if life has shown you that you're good and you're capable and resilient. Now, I talked about the scarcity mindset in one of my recent videos, and that's when you believe that there's never going to be enough. So you constantly are placing yourself in survival mode. This is insecurity. And it leads you to focus on short-term needs rather than long-term solutions. Have you ever been told that you have tunnel vision? Well, if so, that's not a compliment. I'm sorry you had to hear that from me. It's when you focus so hard on one problem that you forget the bigger picture and you lose the opportunity to address the situation at hand. Then there's this thing called catastrophizing. And yeah, it kind of sounds like what it is, expecting the worst even when the evidence says otherwise. Some call these people worry warts. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be concerned. It means that the level of concern or the worry that you have is extreme. You don't just think something bad is going to happen. You think it's going to be a catastrophe. And last but not least, there's a lack of self-trust that exists. It's when you question your decisions so much that you lose confidence in your own ability to handle situations in life. So why the heck do we worry and overthink so much anyway? Our minds are wired to look for danger more than peace. If you grew up in struggle, betrayal, or let's say instability, your nervous system might always be on high alert. Overthinking makes us believe that if we analyze long enough, we're going to avoid mistakes. But really, it just creates stress. And constant comparison makes us second guess ourselves and expect failure instead of trusting our path. Here's how you can start loosening the grip of worry and overthinking. First, you have to build self-trust. Remind yourself that you've handled hard things before and that you'll be able to handle them again. Start out small by making a decision and sticking with it. Then celebrate yourself because that's a win. You're gonna have to challenge the what ifs. Instead of thinking, oh, what if I fail? Ask yourself, what if I crush this goal? Now you're gonna need to shift your brain's focus toward possibility in order to accomplish that step. Stop micro-thinking and ask yourself, what's the story of my life really telling me? One stressful detail doesn't erase years of consistency and strength. So it's important that you reflect more so on the times you were resilient and how good it felt to work through those tough situations. Give yourself credit for getting things done in the past and remind yourself that tough times don't last, but tough people do. And be grateful for what you have. And practice that gratitude every day. What that does is it pulls you out of the future and it brings you back into the present moment. And last but not least, you're gonna have to set some boundaries with yourself. When your mind starts spiraling, you gotta tell yourself, I've given this enough thought. It's time to live. You can redirect your focus by going for a walk. Maybe you can do journaling or just start engaging in something grounding. At the end of the day, worrying and overthinking are two thieves. Worrying steals your joy and overthinking steals your confidence. Together, they keep you from trusting yourself and enjoying the life that you've already built. You've already survived 100% of your hardest days so far. You're more capable than your worries ever give you credit for. And once you learn to quiet the noise of overthinking, you'll start to hear that confident voice inside you that says, I got this. Thank you for tuning in to Voice and Value. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more conversations that help you protect your peace and reclaim your joy. Until next time, trust yourself, release the worry, and step fully into the abundant life that you deserve.
See, this is what I learned when I really started studying what therapists teach. When you walk around with, let's say I got some baggage, like grandma and them do, that you don't even know about it. So it ain't that you finna find me out, but it's sitting on me. It makes me easily triggered because I know that there are things that I hold on to that are out of ethics.
Right.
There's an inner, unless you're a psychopath, naturally you develop a sense of like, I was wrong for that. Even if I don't tell nobody I was wrong for that.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.